Polaroid releases two kinds of special edition films. One variety which mixes up the color of the frames, and the other which alters the chemistry of the film itself. These have mostly manifested in the duochrome series, a spin-off of their black and white film, which has come in a small variety of colors, appearing somewhat regularly since the Impossible project put Polaroid film back into production. Last year, Polaroid introduced a different kind of special edition film called Reclaimed Blue, which was not a black and white remix, but rather a Frankenstein color film, which contained chemistry from black and white film mixed with the goop that fills Polaroid pods, resulting in a blue and white film that looked unlike anything Polaroid had done before. Reclaimed Blue carries a great sentimental weight to me, as it provided the occasion and the chemistry for my visit to the Polaroid factory last year, where we not only toured the factory in grand fashion, but also learned the unique experiment which led to Reclaimed Blue's existence. Which is thanks to Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Have you thanked Brian today? I used Reclaimed Blue prodigiously to document my journey to the factory, and those few cherished packs represent the final tokens of a grand escapade. You'd imagine my delight when I learned Reclaimed Blue was not to be a lone star, and new harebrained tomfoolery at the Polaroid factory spawned a fresh frankenfilm, Reclaimed Green. Just in time for spooky season, Reclaimed Green introduces a green-yellow hybrid film that, like Reclaimed Blue, is a bizarro kind of crossbreed.
This is a special edition from our normal color film.
That is Jennifer, the team leader of film and chemistry at Polaroid.
This is a color film with an addition of a chemical. We also use the same chemical in Reclaimed Blue. The only difference here is that we added a yellow dye, which makes it green.
So, Reclaimed Green starts out as Reclaimed Blue, Polaroid color film with the addition of a chemical from the black and white film called TBHQ in the pod goop. But with the further addition of a yellow dye, Reclaimed Blue becomes Reclaimed Green.
Normally when you put blue and yellow together, you create green, and that is why it became green.
This yellow dye is being deployed the same way in duochrome yellow, where whites take on the yellow color. So it's like duochrome yellow mixed with Polaroid color film mixed with Polaroid black and white film. What kind of outrageous individual could be capable of concocting such a cockamamie film stock? Oh, it's Andy Billen, the beautiful soul who walked us through the factory last year.
I think while he was drinking a beer, he came to the idea what will happen if you add a dye to the blue. Does it work? What do we get? What kind of color do we get? What kind of color do we like?
I was curious how the team at Polaroid dials in something like Reclaimed Green when it's being perfected. Something can be said for how reasonably good highlights look or how much information there is in the shadows, but in the end, the film is green and yellow. It looks absolutely crazy. Like, how do you know when you've nailed it?
It's a matter of taste. Show the possibilities that we have different percentages and levels, and then we look at the group together, and then we just vote. And
really? Well, it's democratic at least. But coming up with something acceptably strange looking is only half the battle. It also has to survive the test of time.
That is always one of the biggest challenges, because you started something, looks nice, looks good, and then you put it on shelves and you see 1 month later or so that it starts degrading and it's not usable.
Because Polaroid knew the yellow dye would be stable given their years of experience with duochrome yellow, Reclaimed Green more easily passed the aging test, much like a fine Gruyere cheese, which is said to become more assertive, earthy, and complex as it matures. A strange film is fun unto itself, but it's also an opportunity to find applications for these unique emulsive paintbrushes. Certain characteristics come out of these unusual film types, and I love exploring what visual themes thrive on them. The colors play a heavy hand and instantly imprint a mood that you have to work alongside. The same could be said for Reclaimed Green, though the green and yellow combo might be the most assertive of any special edition so far, and I've liked leaning into that unreality by bringing its alien nature to the forefront, using filters or subjects out of place, similar to how I used duochrome green. But I also wanted to take advantage of the intensity of the green in this film and use it as it's represented in nature, one of Green's most epic claims to fame. So we drove the Jeep into Shenandoah National Park, a charmed jewel of America residing in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. It is here that I hope to imprint the grandeur of this green natural wonder on the greenest film there is. However, after only 4 miles, the Jeep had its first ever emotional and physical breakdown, leaving us stranded for 3 hours at a small campsite as we waited for a tow. Blocked from any vistas and unable to leave, we had to focus on the closer things. Green soaks these macro images so well, and the yellow paints a delicate highlight. You can also see how different it looks than the contrastier punch of duochrome green. Reclaimed has this extra bit of weirdness, as if concocted by people worth thanking. You might not imagine it, but the film also works well for portraits in my opinion. It's certainly Shrek coded, but works just gracefully enough on skin for the mind to accept the color. Whereas sometimes with duochrome yellow, it's so stark that it becomes almost purely graphical in nature. I found Reclaimed Green to shoot fairly straightforwardly considering its baked in oddness. I used the film in both the SX70, the i2, and a Dyne Macro 600 camera. All three of those cameras can have minds of their own, and they all gave me relatively consistent results, skewing toward running a little slower in speed at times, maybe shooting at more like 500 ASA than 640. I never felt like I was fighting to save highlights, basically. In my humble opinion, and really, it's so very humble, this film should be awarded 5 out of 5 green thumbs, and will be receiving the first Doinker certification for a film stock. That's a good thing. That just about does it for all the time we have here, folks. There are certainly more things I'd like to try with Reclaimed Green, and I look forward to seeing what all the talented people out there do with it. I want to see emulsion lifts. I want to see big, beautiful green panoramas, a transparency. It's a color film, so that will be quite a challenge. But anyway, get out there and have fun. Thank you for watching in an instant. Thank you so much to Jennifer for being on the show. Thank you, Andy Billen, for saying, "It's yellow and green in it." Thank you, Brian. Go ahead and paint the town green and put up signs for everyone in town to bop that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more breakdowns, reviews, shoots, and all things instant. Bye. It's yellow and green in it.